Branch podcast.
Yes.
Yes. So you might have just watched our cinematic universe episode. You can hear my dog in the background. I have a just to let y'all know, I have a wonderful Shiba Inu and a very crazy, lovable Chow Mix, and the Chow Mix wants to be with us all the time, so you might hear him bark from time to time.
He is a hefty, lovable boy.
Yes.
I like them chunky.
Dummy thick.
But he is best pupper.
Yes, he is best puppers. But just to remind you, of course, my name is Tim. I am the host of the Geek Branch podcast, along with my fantastic co-host, Matt,
Yes.
Devante,
What up?
and Dane. So this segment is going to be over the gaming pulse. And we're just going to talk about some stuff that happened last week. I think one of the biggest news stories was Riot's 10th anniversary. And of course, Riot is the company who created League of Legends. And Dane most definitely has experience with that game.
Since the beginning, I played the beta
Yes.
You played the beta
For
for
League of Legends.
for League of Legends.
Good
I was one of the
Lord.
original players. I even tried out for Team USA during the year one season when it was USA versus Euro.
Yes, he's one of the OGs. He was there when Donkey was there.
What you could say is you're a godfather.
They're making references to The Godfather because
One
Tim's
unfortunate
never
member-
seen a classic film.
yeah, I've never seen The Godfather
Oh my
or
God.
Scarface, and so now they're giving me a tough time.
but
and I
he's
guess
watched all the modern mobster movies, which
Yes.
is just a tragedy and a half.
So now they're making me watch that, and I probably deserve it after I was giving Devontae such a hard time for never watching The Office. Dane is excluded because he doesn't understand comedy.
Look, the only thing I'm going to tell you is that it's 3 hours long, and if you can
I
watch
know
a
it is.
Marvel movie, you can watch that. And when you get to where they're in Italy, just bear with it.
Okay.
That's all I got to say.
Okay. Yes,
It
I
still
will
added a
finally
lot to the
watch The
movie.
Godfather. I'm many years behind because it's way older than me. But anyways, so Riot is, as I said, the creators of League of Legends. Well, League of Legends has been around for 10 years. In my opinion, the game is clearly starting to die. So they are taking this chance during a lot of controversy around Blizzard and running with it and making a bunch of games and announcing it. Because right now Blizzard is a dumpster fire.
What?
Free Hong Kong.
Yes, free Hong
Mhm.
Kong. We're
I
there
love you,
for you
China.
guys.
A little bit.
We love Hong Kong. We love the people that are protesting at Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Every,
I also, my wife is Chinese, so it hits close to home with the situation that's going on over there. And I really hate the situation with how Blizzard has been handling the grand champion for Hearthstone, because
didn't they finally give him his money?
but they're still suspending him.
Mhm.
Yeah, he still got banned for like 6 months. I think.
Well, they reduced it by half. They of course went back on their hard line because outrage. Once again, if this podcast episode had to have a title, it would be the corporate backlash shuffle because every corporation's shuffling around because of all
Yes.
the backlash.
Just echoing some more from earlier with social media burying people.
Yes,
We have a lot of power in this day and age.
we do, and this is one of the instances where it's in the right, because what they did, and I'm sorry I don't remember his gamer tag handle, the Grandmaster, but the way that they handled that was obviously because it was a corporate thing where they don't want to lose money from China. Even though I actually read a report that only because Tencent is a big Chinese company and they have their hands in just about everything,
Including Riot.
including Riot, but with Blizzard and Activision, because they're actually the same company, Tencent only owns 5% of their company.
It doesn't matter. The Chinese market is such a
But-
massive part of their profit margin that
The article also pointed out that the percentage that they make over there is nothing compared to what they make over here.
it doesn't matter. It's the same reason why you've seen every Transformer movie have a Hong Kong scene.
They know
or a-
that market will
It-
grow over time.
No, if they catch it, they win. I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, I think the Call of Duty mobile game opened up over there with the largest grossing for any mobile game.
Yeah, it made like what was it like? People downloaded 100 million within a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Lord.
week, 100 million.
Right. And so if every one of those people buy,
People thought Pokemon Go's download was crazy. This was skyrocket
yeah,
times 200.
China is the largest global market.
Yes. But so basically, they bow down and kiss China's feet, and people weren't having it. And so, anyways, so with that was the perfect timing for Riot to actually, well, they announced some stuff about League, of course, but they also announced a lot of new games. There's the Teamfight Tactics for mobile. A lot of people already know that as, isn't that like essentially auto chest?
Yes, it's based off Dota
Yeah.
Auto Chess.
Yeah. So it's like Dota's auto chest. Well, they're bringing it to mobile. That there'll be a public beta for their new set in October 22nd. So that'll be in a couple of days. And they'll be bringing it to mobile soon. Also, they announced with League of Legends Wild Rift, which is essentially a redesigned version of League of Legends for console and for mobile.
Mm.
Anytime a company does that, and that normally shows when their game is starting to lose its popularity.
Also, this is a
Yeah.
perfect example of them being influenced by Tencent.
Yes, that's another example of them also being influenced by the Chinese market. They also announced Legends of Runeterra, and that is their version of a card game, mobile card game or PC card game, whatever. They're basically doing the same thing that Blizzard's done, that Bethesda's done, even CD Projekt Red. List goes on. There's a lot of
Okay.
those type of games right
Gwent's
now.
a legit card game.
Yeah, Gwent's
Gwent
pretty
is
good.
legit, but anything that CD Projekt Red makes is legit. Like I know it's off topic, but I got the port for Witcher 3 for the Switch. And while it's not nearly obviously as beautiful as console or the PC versions, they did a fantastic job for a port on the Switch. And I'm playing it handheld, and I'm quite impressed with the ability they were able to make it run.
That's
it runs
awesome.
smooth. The graphics might not be beautiful, but it runs smoothly. And that's what
That's-
matters the most.
That's impressive because like when you take something that is that intense
Yes.
and move it to Switch, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So
It's one of the few valid ports of the last decade.
yes, and I was surprised. I know this has nothing to do with Riot Games, but sorry, I have to gush over CD Projekt Red at least once a month on this podcast because they're my favorite company. Anyways, they actually teamed up with Saber Interactive. Saber Interactive has ported a few things over, and it has not went over well for the Switch before, but essentially CD Projekt Red worked very closely with them to make sure. And also a thing that they always go an extra mile with their stuff. In the it comes in a box, not just like a game cartridge box, but it comes in a box because it comes with a map, an actual game manual that can update people about people's backstories if they didn't play the first two. Because there are people that only own Nintendo stuff, so they've never played a Witcher game. And there is also stickers, and there was something else with it too. But I remember one of the producers talking about if only these other companies would do this, it literally only cost us like 25 cents, 10 cents more by the amount that they're producing of this stuff. And it's a nice gift to the consumer. I'm sorry, I love CD Projekt Red. I love the way they look at things. Anyway, so back at Riot.
Or that is Riot under the influence of the Chinese market.
Yes. So they also announced Project A. That's just the project name for essentially their version of a co-op tactical shooter. I saw the gameplay demo. Yeah, I know. I saw the gameplay demo. It did have some reminiscence of Overwatch because again,
I was gonna say
but it actually is the shooting style was more tactical, more similar towards Call of Duty and Rainbow Six Siege, just with some of that where they have the powers thing, but they
Yeah.
focused a lot more on like they were legit guns and stuff like that. It is a shooter. It's just they
That's
also
cool.
have the abilities and stuff.
Rainbow Six is so good.
Rainbow Six Siege is.
It wasn't at launch.
It wasn't. I
No,
had
it
at
wasn't.
launch.
But like, looking how far it's come, and then the fact that everything for the most part has been free.
Yeah.
Like they've come really far.
Yeah, they have. So that was their other thing. And then they announced a animated show or team. I forgot who they're teaming up with, but they're teaming up with someone for an animated show. So my big thing on this is that they obviously they've been working on some of this stuff. I don't think they were going to announce it at the 10th anniversary, some of this stuff, until they saw what's been going on with Blizzard. They just ran and took with it. League of Legends is starting to die. I mean, they still have a decent size,
The population
community.
of a small country.
Yeah, I mean, they're still a big company, and they still have a big community, but it's a very closed community. It's a very niche community. Even if there is millions of people in that community,
Yeah.
you don't hear other people talk about League of Legends.
Besides League of Legends players. of
Yes,
course.
Yeah.
exactly. So they took this opportunity to branch out and become more than just the people who make League of Legends. So that's interesting. It would be interesting to see if they try to take Blizzard's spot, because Blizzard is spiraling out of control, obviously. So somebody has to take their spot. So that was kind of just the thing with Riot. I've never been a big MOBA player. Dane plays it. My brother, that's pretty well all he plays besides mobile games.
The
My-
closest thing to a MOBA that I think I've played has been Paladins. Paladins is super fun.
Well, Paladins is essentially another Overwatch type game.
Well, so
Played Paragon before it died.
Yeah.
So I got
remember
into
you playing that.
I got into League of Legends because League of Legends was coming off of functionally Dota, Heroes of New Earth.
Yeah.
All those old
I forgot about
games.
Dota.
Yeah, right. That's the old mobile generation, but I was there playing for that part. And so when League was announced, I was just like, oh, there's a beta for it. And so I immediately hopped in, and that was way back in the day when the graphics were absolutely nothing to mention. And this way before Riot exploded into the massive gaming corporation that it is today. But I left. I haven't played in possibly about 2 years. And that's because the thing that I enjoyed most about League was becoming too much like Blizzard's MOBA, Hearts of, what is it called?
Hearts of the
Hearthstone's-
Storm.
Hearts
Heroes of the Storm?
Heroes of the Storm. There it is. Yeah. So it was becoming very much so like
And
Blizzard's
Heroes
MOBA.
of the Storm is dead now.
Yeah, because they cut the esports for it, like the geniuses that they are. But yeah, Blizzard has made a bunch of bad decisions. Not saying that Riot has greatly done well on its own, but Riot's marketing is pretty unique, and its ability to produce unique gameplay is actually worthy of commentary. So I hope that Riot does do well moving forward into the future. I'm no longer on that bus, the Riot train, but I hope they do not pick up the bad habits from Tencent. I cannot support that. These Chinese NetEase and Tencent, these two big Chinese corporations that
they're
are
huge.
influencing American gaming so much.
Yeah, they have big money into Bungie. Bungie's
Yeah.
supposed to be making them a game eventually. They basically gave them a blank check.
Yeah, but you can see them touching just about everything. Blizzard's Diablo Mobile, I think it's called.
Tencent has a big influence on movies now too.
Like
Uh,
what, for instance? Or
What movies?
or have they specified anything? Because this is the first I'm hearing of it.
That they're involved in movies. I
Yeah.
would have to research it, but I think they've been involved in like some of the ones like the newer Transformers movies and some different things. But I would have to. Don't quote me on that.
alright,
I'd have
so-
to research it.
Let me explain to you how you can identify a movie that's been primed for the Chinese market. It's very simple. One act of the movie has to take place in a Chinese location.
Iron Man 3 has a special scene just for the Chinese market.
Right. It has to be someplace in the Chinese locale, normally a major city. Think Shanghai, Hong Kong, Beijing, just anything that's a really big Chinese hallmark city. There will be a pseudo main or supporting character that is of Chinese descent. A perfect example for that is Pacific Rim.
Yeah,
Or
big time. Pacific Rim 2.
Yeah, Pacific Rim 2, the Megalodon,
Yeah,
the movie.
Pacific Rim 2 was
I'm really sitting here thinking about Godzilla because I just recently saw a new Godzilla film,
Yeah.
and like I'm just checking off as you're
Right.
going.
So those are some of the big primers. Those are the two big ones. There are some smaller ones that you can pick out if you're a real because I was really against Chinese influencing our market. I was never pro China as far as it comes to them having
Right.
control in Hollywood and in gaming. And The Rock's movie Skyscraper, I think it was.
Skyscraper, it actually
Yeah.
worked.
Right, because it was done honestly and very forthright. It was an actual real great blend of what Chinese culture could bring to an American cinema flick, because it was American action with Chinese culture.
Yeah.
And so at that point,
It was his Die Hard movie.
I
I hated
left.
that movie.
I enjoyed it for being a cheesy,
haven't
like
seen it
it's
yet.
80s style action flick
Right. So look,
for what it was.
there's plenty of things you can critique it on, but specifically on the influence of a Chinese market movie, that's what it basically was. It's actually just
It made more
incredibly well
sense.
done. Yeah, it blended in well. The world building was great for
Yeah.
it, regardless of whether it was a quality movie or not. Just this is what they all should have been, rather than the awkward things that were Transformers, that were the Megalodon, that in some cases were other movies where you obviously just see a Chinese influence overflowing in this that doesn't feel right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just because look at Transformers, even though Transformers is a Japanese IP, it's been pretty American since like the 80s.
Yeah.
So anytime we see Transformers,
Thanks to Hasbro.
it's American cars.
Yeah.
Right. It's American cities, and
Yep.
most of the big conflicts are happening in the old U.S. of A.
Except for in the first one with Marky Mark, where they, for whatever reason, have to go to China.
Well, that's my point. That's
Yeah,
the Chinese
that's-
influence.
Yeah, that's where it's one of the points where it just makes no sense why
Wasn't
China
there
was
a
involved.
moment in there was an opening scene I thought where they were in China and with Optimus Prime.
Yeah, that was it wasn't an opening scene, but it was the first one with Marky Mark.
Was
Yeah.
that it?
Mm-hmm. Mark
So,
Wahlberg.
They all
sorry.
run together after so long.
Yeah, they all
Right.
blend.
So
Apparently, the only one. Well, I haven't seen two of them, but apparently the last one was actually good. Bumblebee, because Mike. Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Bumblebee was also pretty much a standalone. Though.
Yeah, it wasn't made by what's his name,
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay. I'm sorry.
The explosion god himself.
It's getting a little late for me. I'm an old man. I have a set time I usually go to sleep, which is in about an hour from now. So I'm an old man.
I work graveyard.
Yeah.
I'm riding high.
Yeah, he's
But-
good right
I
now.
work overnight.
Yeah.
So anyway, my point is that just like we brought up with the movies and other video games, is that the Chinese market is very homogenous and very singular, and it is nowhere near as well
Creative.
Well, I don't want to be rude with that.
I said
but
it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's not for us. Okay. And there's a point where what you're making to sell to China cannot be sold to Americans. It's not going to work. And
No.
so many things are approaching that fine limit. And
Video games are starting to become more obvious with that.
right.
I have a question about this here in a second when you get a minute. Or when
Well,
you're good.
Yeah. So my whole point to wrap it all up is that if it was treated like Skyscraper, where the plot, the lore, the world building, and the characters make sense.
This includes video games too.
Yeah, if the development process can correctly allow Chinese culture to stand out and be something that's positive in the universe that it's being included in, I'm all for it. And in fact, I say Skyscraper and Godzilla did that very well, because the Chinese influence for the Godzilla movie King of Monsters, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
was Mothra.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Mothra had a direct relation to the Chinese twins, as her classical lore, connects to. And so that was able to be played off excellently. It also touched on Japanese culture as well, because we had, our favorite Japanese man who has the one-to-one connection with Godzilla. Yes. So you can do it correctly. And that's all I want, is that if it was treated with the same amount of respect and caution those two movies did, I could accept it. But that is not the way corporate normally runs it.
What were you gonna?
Well, I was gonna ask because, like, I know we like to discuss stuff, and a big movie that's going to be touching Hollywood and Chinese culture soon is coming out of Disney in the form.
Shang-Chi,
Well, I was going to say Mulan.
Mulan. Oh yeah.
I am so against
China
this.
hates it.
Yes,
I was gonna
I am
say-
with the Chinese.
I know
on
this has
one.
nothing to do with video games. I'm sorry, but we're gonna get off tangent today. Y'all be alright. Yes, Mulan. First of all, they're butchering the version of Disney Mulan.
Yes.
They're getting rid of Mushu. How do you not have Mushu? Yeah, no Mushu, so no Eddie Murphy. I mean, I would have been okay if it wasn't Eddie Murphy, if they gave us like Kevin Hart or something like that. But we have to have Mushu. Okay, it's the Disney version. If we wanted a more realistic Mulan we would get the one that's based off real life where she ended up committing suicide. Okay, people.
Like, so not only are they
Still a
butchering
heroic story.
Disney
It's still a
Mulan, but they're
heroic story,
butchering
but
actual
we're
Chinese
still getting a
Mulan.
Disney happy story.
Shame on your cow is my favorite part.
Hey, just
It is.
I mean, Eddie Murphy, you know, he
Dishonor
was the
on
best
you,
part.
dishonor on your
Cow.
cow.
Well, look, him between that and who was it? Chris Tucker for Rush Hour.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are the old fashioned Chinese blend movies, and I really appreciated them.
yeah.
And
The old the old Disney movies where the actors couldn't sing, so they would have actual singers sing their parts.
Lines, yeah.
Yeah, so let's get down to business.
Hey, Jackie Chan
was
singing
actually
that
Donny
song.
Osmond.
it's
Yeah, but
really good,
Jackie
actually.
Chan's version of that song is a masterpiece. Go on YouTube right
Yeah.
now and just do that.
Well,
after
Jackie
you
Chan
finish
is
this
actually a
podcast.
fantastic Chinese singer.
And I know that Kevin Hart's a big name,
Yeah.
and he's a good comedian.
Yeah.
But I don't want him anywhere near my Mulan.
Well, you don't have to worry about that because we ain't having Mushu.
To begin with. So follow me here, right? Mulan did not need a live
I'm not
action.
okay with it.
No, it didn't need a live action. And personally, right?
That hurt my feelings, man.
She is a Chinese folk hero
Yeah.
for all intent and purposes. And there are actually a very large number of them in between like all of the Wuxia heroes, all of the Romance of the Third
Yeah, it's
Kingdom
just
heroes.
that
Oh
one's-
man,
That one just connected well with America for whatever reason.
Because we can respect the story.
Yeah.
Because it was a daughter taking her father's place in the time of great tribulation.
Yeah.
But the premise behind Mulan is very emancipatory, and I know for a fact that the magic that happened with the original one will not be translated to this live action one. I am 1000% Disney putting its mitts on it,
Well,
and even it's a Disney
China
product.
hates the actress who's playing as Mulan, and she did not help herself with the protest stuff.
yeah, no, not at all.
I saw that.
I forgot exactly what she said, but basically she was backing the
Oh.
Chinese government.
I mean,
Yes.
Not a smart move, right?
All right, so there's only
not
one
at
person.
all.
There was only one person in the entire history of American Chinese cinema relation that was allowed to do that and get away with it, and it was Jackie Chan.
Yes.
Only Jackie Chan, and even then, like he lost some fans, right?
was he pro government?
Do you need anything?
Yes, he came out
Okay.
as pro government in relation to his son when his son
Yeah.
got in trouble those years ago.
Okay.
He actually has an estranged relationship with his daughter.
Has he
Yeah.
said anything in regards to the recent ongoings?
No,
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 he's been
no.
pretty
He's been
silent.
pretty quiet. There was a time in which he spoke up, and he was definitely leaning pro government.
Yeah, no, he's much
And-
more silent.
Yeah, it's been pretty much forgotten about. But like I said, he was the only person that was able to step into that minefield and walk out unscathed.
Yeah.
But old little miss here who's playing Mulan has
No.
nowhere near
They already
the clout.
didn't like her. They already China
Right.
does not like her. They laughed when they found out that she was going to be
Mulan.
Mulan because they said that she's basically they made jokes about her being like the worst actress there. She's like one of you can name a few that are known as terrible actresses. Like we think the chick from Twilight's a terrible actress.
Okay, look.
Kristen
Stewart.
Bell Stewart. Sorry.
So here's
Kristen Bell
here's,
Stewart.
here's my thing.
I don't remember her name. She's
Kristen
forgettable in my
Bell.
mind.
Bell Stewart. I actually think Kristen Stewart is
Kristen Bell's a good actress. I'm sorry.
Kristen Bell is a good actress.
My bad. Shut it, guys.
Kristen
level.
Bell Stewart,
Hey, no.
Nacho Belgrande Stewart.
Cleopatra Stewart.
Guys suck.
Look, we can't
Random
get
white
a-
girl named Stewart.
I don't know. Let's just name her Karen.
We're gonna have to get you like a piece of paper with all these names on them so you can keep up with it.
Look,
You
look,
know, when
we-
I'm not on the podcast, I can remember this stuff perfectly.
Look, we may be being mean to him, but seriously though, we messed up ourselves. We
Brother,
Oh
literally
yeah,
Yeah.
we mess up all the time.
yeah.
The
we-
Alan
brotherly
Moore,
love.
Grant Morrison
Sid-
situation
Frank
earlier.
Miller, like they're all great. We read all of their works, but we got those names horribly confused.
Anyway, so obviously China mixing in with American culture is terrible.
Well,
I
not
th-
it can be done.
It can be
correctly.
done correctly, but whenever the Chinese corporations get involved is when it's most of the time terrible.
right because look, when it's superficial, it's just
It's
bad.
obvious.
Yeah, and so look, I am a huge consumer of Chinese media. I love myself some Chinese wuxia novels. I watch Chinese TV pretty frequently.
I help his addiction. I give him access to my Viki account.
Yes, Viki Rakuten for anybody who is interested in catching some good Japanese, Taiwanese, Korean,
Yeah.
and Chinese TV.
You name it, they have it.
And
Korean
And if they don't
dramas
have it,
are where it's
Netflix have
at.
it. Yes,
Bruh,
Korean dramas
hey,
are
get
the
me
best.
started.
hey,
That's
Chinese
another
dramas.
topic for another time.
Chinese dramas throw in heavy in that ring.
I know it's weird because, as I said, that my wife is Chinese. I can't watch Chinese dramas because of their language. It doesn't flow for me like Japanese or Korean language does. Korean language sounds so beautiful when you hear it on there.
What?
I mean-
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there.
I don't like the Chinese. It's so much rougher than the.
Well, whatever you want to say about how rough Chinese is, Korean is like guttural.
I love it.
No, it's
No.
not. It's,
Yes, no.
it's
Korean
beautiful.
they literally have expressions in their language that mean nothing but hold some context, like "aish" and "I go."
I know. I love that stuff.
that does not allow
Aish.
that language to flow smoothly. They literally even have
I
halting
don't know.
pauses.
I just love watching them and the way they do their shows and their reactions and stuff. It makes it very entertaining. I have to watch their faces.
And they have beautiful women.
Yes.
So does the Chinese. Don't get me in trouble.
Look.
True. For
Right.
Tim, Chinese women are beautiful.
For
Tim's
Tim,
like, please.
Hey, look. Every nation has.
Luckily, she's
beautiful
not
women.
up here right
For
now.
Tim.
Right, so he can run
she's
away.
gonna she's gonna watch the podcast later and be like,
I called that.
Uh-huh.
You go look at the kennel. You're going in there tonight.
Uh-huh.
But anyway. So all that to be said is that it's simply this. I believe there's a right way of doing it, and as a massive fan of the Far Eastern cultures, I hope that more interaction between American and Chinese culture could be done well, but I doubt it.
Well, since we've stayed on this topic, another thing that happened with this whole situation of Blizzard and China and the whole, it's starting to affect uh, the American culture and how Blizzard sided with China. They recently released on my birthday, actually, Overwatch on the Switch. And before all this drama, for a lot of people, it was huge hype. And
For portable Overwatch.
yeah, for portable Overwatch, there's still a lot of people that play that game. Maybe not so much anymore, but there was. Anyways, so they were gonna have a public event at the New York Nintendo store, and they canceled it all of a sudden because of all the backlash from the recent situation with the Grandmaster at with Hearthstone. Well, along with that, there is who doesn't know what Reddit is? Anyways, there's a subreddit for Nintendo Switch. I mean, it's literally called
you
Nintendo
don't?
Switch, and I actually had been part of that community since day one when they called it the Nintendo NX before it was Nintendo Switch.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Oh,
everybody was there was so much
Man.
speculation around
That was
that.
so long ago
that
now.
was so buried in the back of my mind. I
Yeah.
totally
That we
forgot.
forgot that
I
that's
was
what it was.
honestly, I'm surprised.
I remember that
name.
subreddit now because you
was-
sent me a link
I
to
was
it.
playing
Right.
Ratchet and Clank when I was researching it.
Yeah,
So look, I'm not even a Nintendo consumer, and I remember that subreddit.
yeah. Well, it's grown a lot. I'm pretty sure it's like probably at least 1 million people in that group now. Well, there's been a lot of there's difference from admins and moderators. Well, they have a lot more moderators now due to how big the group is. Well, so some interesting stuff kind of went down recently with the whole Blizzard Overwatch situation and then them canceling. Well, there was people that basically made some posts about it. They were just trying to discuss about it or figure out more information. And a moderator basically said that they shouldn't be talking about this. And they were going to
On Reddit.
on Reddit. And so there's usually a rule set for these subreddits. And so they said, well, where in the rules is this not allowed? And so they give them some random rule that's not like against them talking about political stuff like that.
Right. So like if you've never been on Reddit, like when you open up to a new r/ page, on the right side of the screen, there's normally like 8 to 9 ground rules for the
Right.
Reddit. trust me when I say that there's no Reddit that has don't talk about politics on this Reddit page unless it's specifically an anti-politics page. And Nintendo, that ain't it.
Yes. So that wasn't on the rules. So they gave him some other rule and they said, no, that doesn't make sense. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, okay, they all of a sudden make up a rule. They suddenly add it, don't tell the community or anything. And they say that there you go.
And
There's
so-
a rule.
and
No
so,
talking about politics.
As you know, the internet, especially Reddit, exists in the form of archives.
Yes.
Because we are archivists when it comes to holding on to information like that. It would never, ever, whoever in their right
Grudges.
mind thought
Yes.
that stuff would pass without anyone catching hold of it. You know that we became aware of it quite quickly.
Yeah. So essentially, there's clearly moderators that are working for some of these video game companies.
Moderators that are functionally just Chinese bots.
Yes. So this guy that was getting really upset with the community over the situation was a moderator, and I mean, he didn't forthright say he works for Blizzard. He might as well said he did, because he was trying to shut down any sort of conversation about the situation any way he could. And
This is the internet. Censorship doesn't
Yeah.
work.
yes, so instead of having an open discussion with the community, the mods start talking to each other in private chat about the situation. I went back, I think it was like yesterday. It looks like things have cleared up, but they did not handle it at all. They ended up on the front page of there's another subreddit, which is subreddit drama. They were on the front page. It was that.
r/drama, baby.
Yeah. No, r/subreddit drama.
Subreddit drama.
Yes, it was on the top page because that's how bad it was. It was a hot mess, and they are known for deleting people's posts that they have no reason to delete. I remember they deleted a post of mine, and it was about something that was made for me for my Switch, and they deleted it because I was trying to do self-promotion. And I said it in my title that it wasn't made by me. It was made by someone else, and I wasn't trying to sell anything, and they still deleted it. And when I tried to talk to a mod about it, they were like, would not listen, did not care. And so that's been like a growing problem in that group.
Yes, but when you mix together the already stagnant relationship between Reddit monitors and Redditors,
Yes.
and then on top of that, you had the obvious censorious nature of Big Brother China.
Yes.
It exploded into a powder keg of absolutely unreal
Yeah.
proportions.
It was. Yeah, I wish y'all could have seen it y'all selves. It was. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
You should have
sure-
read the comment sections.
I'm sure some brave soul has archived it.
Oh
Just
yes. There
believe
are
in the
some
internet.
archives. There's definitely some archives. I have them actually myself. But so that's basically it. China mixing in with that stuff, it spells for disaster. And I hope that a lot of these companies realize that they don't need to be influenced by China as much as they are.
Look, it just functionally can never work. China's government is very censorious, and America is a consumer nation.
Yes.
We are consumerists. We want what we want, how we want, when we want it, and you can't tell us no.
And speaking of things that we want that we might not know we want, is ripoffs.
Oh, is this about the Cuphead thing?
This is about the
Yes.
Cuphead
Oh
ripoff.
man,
I'm not cool with them ripping it off, but I don't know.
I liked it. It looked cute.
But I'm still not okay with them ripping it off. But
I mean,
I'm gonna actually show
can
the
you
trailer
really,
real
like,
quick.
I mean, when you think about it,
Like-
like Cuphead just ripped off another like Felix the Cat kind of thing. Like,
It was cool until I saw like
Well,
the
first
way
off,
they
this
were
is-
attacking.
this is all some old-fashioned Disney ripoff. Anyway,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it
Like-
felt more natural with Cuphead.
Just because Cuphead did it first. I mean,
yeah, that's not fair to Cuphead.
Look, you can even tell by the gloves. They're wearing Mickey's gloves, man. I mean, come on. What was Mickey's old name?
Steamboat Willie.
There it is. Thank you. It came
Those
to me.
were
I can't
dark
like get the whistle, but
cartoons.
you know.
The darkest cartoons you'll ever see.
Oh man.
Okay,
hey.
so I can see what they mean as far as like the gameplay.
I didn't see the cow.
Oh, look at it. It really is just like Cuphead.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so I thought initially when they were talking about it, it was because of the art, but no, I see exactly what they mean now.
They
Okay, but
literally
wait,
ripped off
wait.
of it.
But no. But okay, so we want to say that, right? But look at all the freaking pug rips. You know what I'm saying? All the
Yeah, that's true.
It's,
This
no.
is a Kickstarter, by the way. That's I'm pretty sure still going on.
Wow,
Dude,
no.
I really like
The issue is that it's not the game formula type because this side scroll.
dude, that's awesome.
That rooster is a total rip off.
Rockadoodle Doo.
Yeah, Rockle-Doodle Doo.
Yeah.
God,
The Chihuahua.
I would want to shoot that Chihuahua.
Look at it.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
they're
wait.
my least favorite dog.
Oh, that's dope.
Dude, it's a Cerberus.
Okay, so yeah, it's totally a ripoff.
But I don't care.
I like
And
it.
there's nothing wrong with this. Hold on one second.
I like it.
Okay, so Cuphead can't trademark.
Yeah, it's style.
It's-
but they
it's-
did it so well that if you try to do what they did and not do it as well as them,
But look at that though.
it's not
Even
as
if
good
it's
as
not
them.
meant as a ripoff, you're still going to get people that are going to be like, well,
That's a rip off.
It
This is
doesn't
like-
matter though. But how many times have we had games that are just functional reskins? It's functionally just a reskinned Cuphead.
I mean,
This is like Doritos versus cheddar cheese tortillas.
Yeah, right.
yeah, but I mean, Doritos came first.
It doesn't matter.
It's still good either way.
What
man.
I'm saying is that if I buy that game, I am just as likely to enjoy it as I did Cuphead.
I mean, do you like Dr. Thunder? Do you like Dr. Pepper?
I like Dr. Kelp.
What the heck is Dr.
Where's my
Kelp?
diet Dr. Kelp?
Who the heck?
I could have sworn that's a SpongeBob
Is that
reference.
SpongeBob
Yeah,
reference?
it's a
It's
SpongeBob,
SpongeBob
reference.
I'm sorry, I'm not as in
Well,
tune
we-
with SpongeBob as he is.
we knew it.
Dr. Kelp.
Well, we knew that it wasn't a JoJo reference.
No.
Oh no!
Mm.
Oh
Well,
my god!
You opened it up for me. You opened it up. It's your
I
fault.
mean, like a third of our soundboard is JoJo. It's amazing.
That was not JoJo.
That is definitely not JoJo.
I don't know. Like, that's kind of sounds like Paul Nariz.
Somewhere in the depths of Paul Nerf's mind.
Dude, I will never. I can't talk about JoJo because I got friends that watch this podcast. But we need to have a JoJo day.
We should have a JoJo day. That's
I mean-
actually a wonderful idea.
I am not a watcher, but I am a reader. So I'm
How do you-
deep into JoJillion.
Man, the tongue almost touching the toilet was enough for me to be like, nah.
Oh no! I'm not doing the button. I'm saying it myself. So yeah, that's a ripoff, but it looks interesting. I don't know. It's
I'm
its
okay
own
with it.
version of it. It looks like they're trying to take inspiration from because Cuphead's like 1920s.
yeah,
This is more like 1950s.
Yeah.
it's old fashioned, like Tom and Jerry esque.
I still don't think it's going to be on the same caliber as Cuphead because I think it's MHDR.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
But
MDHR. They really took their time tweaking that game.
but here's my point. Just hands down.
The mechanics aren't going to be as
How,
good.
how
Man,
many
it was
times?
hard.
How many times?
Super hard.
Yes, it was glorious.
Yes.
But how many times have we bought games which are functionally just reskinned versions of a game within a genre?
Yeah, I
mean,
know. I'm
Can you
just
give some
saying.
examples?
Battleborn, Overwatch.
How many Final Fantasy rips are there?
Battleborn was garbage.
How many Dark Souls rips have there been?
A Sekiro is pretty good.
But did you enjoy Sekiro? But what is it
Yeah.
based off of? That's my point.
I mean,
Why can I
yeah.
do this with Cuphead?
you totally have a good point.
My issue with it is I feel like they could have done it a little more differently.
Like the art style. Is that
I think the art style is fine. I think the gameplay
The
mechanics.
game, it's the mechanics that I have issue with.
Well, yes, because it is 100% functionally Cuphead's gameplay.
Yes, they
like-
could have made it a
like,
little different, just a little bit.
The art styles is more different than the gameplays.
yeah,
Which is really, really not acceptable. Like, for instance, and it's a really small thing, but the way that they shoot, their
Mm.
firing mechanic is just one for one Cuphead. You could have
Yeah.
been a little bit more creative there. Giving them wands. They could have literally been firing wands.
they do have.
they do
ones.
have one.
I saw them firing their fingers. I
No,
thought
they
that
use
was,
Their
wands.
wands are
They got
short.
ones.
oh, they have
They're
really
going
short
like
wands.
this.
Yeah,
Okay,
'cause
I
that's
didn't notice-
probably- That was probably the only way they could copy off of it
Right.
to
Okay.
make it
So
work.
it looks so much like Cuphead that I was like, okay, that's literally Cuphead's shooting style. So I'm just
Yeah,
like,
no,
what is that?
It's wands.
Those
I don't know,
levels look really
but
good.
it is made by an indie developer. It is made on Kickstarter, so it might be just someone that's wasn't really inspired by Cuphead and wanted to make their own version.
Well,
of
Or
it. So I
maybe
can
they were
respect
working
that.
on it before Cuphead came
No.
out.
No,
I
no.
doubt
How
that's
long
not
has
that
Cuphead
bad.
been out? by now.
Like 5 years at
For a
this point.
while. But
Has
this is
it
an
been
indie
that long?
developer
No,
though.
no, maybe like 3 or 4 years.
It's like 2 years, I would think. I don't think it's been that long.
well, okay. Are we talking about from like announcement to, or are you talking about actual
I'm
release?
talking like actual release
Oh,
date.
then yeah, it's probably just been 1 or 2 years at this point. I'm like, I know Cuphead's been talked about and shown for like 5 years at this point.
Yeah.
But see, for me though, think about it like this. You remember the old isometric CRPGs, like Baldur's Gate?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, look at how many things are functionally just based off of Baldur's Gate that we
I
can
love
enjoy.
Baldur's Gate 2 so much.
Yeah, I'm saying, but we also had all the other
Neverwinter
D&D
Nights.
ones. Neverwinter Nights. We had all
You
the.
never played Neverwinter Nights? Not even Neverwinter Nights 2?
Right.
Boy.
But then look at all the new ones too. We
Boy.
had Tyranny, Pillars of Eternity, of the new isometric CRPGs that are coming
Pillars
out.
of Eternity is wonderful. You should try that out.
Yeah, but they're also
That's a newer one.
functionally just like Baldur's Gate. though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't there something new that just recently came out that was like a big nod to Baldur's Gate?
I think it was like a sequel.
A CRPG, an isometric CRPG that's close to like Baldur's Gate.
I don't know if it was another.
The most recent
Pillars of
type is
Eternity
Pit
2.
2 Deadfire.
Yeah, it's the closest thing I can
Yeah.
think of that genre.
I feel like I read something about
It's like a
Baldur's Gate
teaser
recently.
trailer.
They are
Baldur's
they
Gate
they
3.
remade it.
Oh, 3?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
They're
Okay.
Baldur's
making a
Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3 with one of the best studios to work on it. It's Larian Studios, who did the Divinity series. So y'all
Oh,
know them
nice.
for Divinity Original Sin, and Original Sin
Nice.
2.
If you
Yeah.
do, yeah,
Yeah.
not old Divinity.
Yeah, not old Divinity, Divinity Original Sin, so it's really made them.
If you can
A
stand
big
to go back
studio.
and play old games, though, go back and play old Divinity.
Yeah. So that's, we'll just have to see more of it. It might turn out to be a good game. I still don't think it'll be on the same caliber as Cuphead. That's just my opinion. The other thing we were going to talk about was, and the last topic for Gaming Pulse is actually the Call of Duty Modern Warfare game that's going to be coming out on Friday. I know.
Is it that soon
Backlash
already?
Shuffle.
24.
Yes.
Yes, on 24th. But corporate Backlash Shuffle.
Yes. So.
Oh, is this about it being an Epic Games exclusive?
No,
No.
it's not.
It's not an Epic Games exclusive.
It's on
I mean, like-
BattleNet.
Oh, I'm getting confused. with
For
something.
PC, it's BattleNet because Activision, Blizzard, all that.
I just deleted BattleNet off my PC.
I'm not reinstalling it. I don't know how I'm
Well,
going
because
to
when
play it.
Destiny made the jump to Steam, I was like,
No need to
Yeah.
have you on this anymore.
Yeah, but you still have to have it for Call of Duty games.
Ugh.
So if you want to play it on PC,
I think I'm done.
Brian, if you're watching, I was a good brother-in-law, and I bought it on the Xbox for you, even though I'd rather be on mouse and keyboard. But I'm that good of a brother-in-law.
Shoot with your mouse, not with your joypad.
I
But,
know.
man, I've been playing Destiny 2 mainly on PC,
Same.
but have some bros that I like to play with, and I was like, I'll play it on PS4. And
Is that what you're gonna get it on?
no, I'm getting Call of Duty on PC, but
I mean,
Yeah.
it's crossplay. So
Yeah, it's crossplay.
that's the biggest reason I'm excited to get on PC, because I've been playing Destiny 2 on PS4,
yeah.
and playing with the controller is like playing with a handful of mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
And
Well,
thank you.
I've always preferred the Xbox controller anyways. If I'm going to use a controller, even with PC, if for some reason a game works better with a controller, because there are some games that they port over to PC that was clearly meant.
Digimon Cyber Sleuth just
Yeah.
recently ported.
Yeah.
Please install a controller. You cannot play that with mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
I
And
sat
I've
there-
always preferred the feel of
Rocket
an
League
Xbox
cannot
controller.
be played on a mouse and keyboard.
Right.
Yeah.
Some things they just port.
But
to,
I also
like,
have an Xbox Elite controller, so of
Yeah.
course I love it.
Well, like, I don't have a problem playing on a PS4 controller, but like, I cannot adjust the sensitivity to where I need it to be.
Right.
for a shooter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's
for
a
shooting,
guessing game.
I've spent so much time overcorrecting, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's bad.
Especially if you play a game like Rainbow Six Siege, that really matters in that kind of game.
Yeah, when you need the precision.
But the thing with Call of Duty, other than I am very impressed with their
Campaign.
the campaign. That's great that they're
Solo
doing a great one
campaign.
again.
The customization's what sold me.
Well, the crossplay was what sold me.
Campaign.
But like Dane was saying earlier, the corporate
Corporate
backlash.
Shuffle.
Yeah. So, instead of them doing their usual microtransaction stuff, what they're doing instead is what everybody else is doing, which
Battle
is a
Pass.
battle pass.
Which is still
And they're
horrible.
not doing it at launch. They're gonna release it after a few weeks, but they're gonna do a battle pass. Destiny's battle pass actually works.
Look,
Mm.
I
I'm
just,
okay. I like it.
Look, I understand the need now for monetization in all video games, but I still hate
I understand.
it.
I was surprised how much I like Destiny's, and the battle pass does not cost much because you get it for the whole year. You don't do you can get it for because I got the game
Shadowkeep.
Shadowkeep with the expansion pass and everything for $60.
It sets you up for the next expansion.
Sets you up for the next expansion. Sets you up for all the season battle pass stuff for the rest of the year.
I played on PS4, and if I was to get it again on PC, how long would it take me to get enough light to play Shadowkeep?
You essentially start back from they move your light score up to what is it 750?
Yeah,
Yep,
750.
Everybody's up to 750.
Oh, so we
All
don't
your
have to
gear is
start.
up at 750.
I was really happy because I have a bunch of exotics, and when I made the jump over to PS4, I
Yes.
was like, yes.
And you can do
Yeah.
what's called cross-play save. So
I can port.
you can port your save over to PC.
Might start playing Destiny again.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what we did because we had Bungie stupid not Bungie, but Battle.net's stupid system with the PC, so we just switched over.
Nice.
Yeah. But the Battle Pass system is supposed to be coming out, and I'm interested to see if they actually keep to the Battle Pass. I'm not so certain. I think they'll end up doing some form of microtransactions eventually. They'll give it a few months before they do it, but I think they'll do more than just Battle Pass because Activision doesn't know how not to do it.
Oh, you know, they can't help but over monetize.
Yeah.
If they could sell you what was it from the last game? It was a 50 cent for
Red
a
Eye.
red dot site.
Yeah.
Red dot icon for your site.
Yeah, it's 50 cents.
Do you dare to think? Let me tell you, man. The very ideal of it increased my hatred of their company by so much. You can't.
I can't believe
possibly
they're pulling
imagine.
me in. I can't believe it, but they are.
Some
God dang
poor
it!
soul
But they have their
scrambling.
best. They have their best team on this game. It doesn't help.
Oh man.
I'm getting sucked in.
No,
I
I'm
always.
sorry.
I haven't been interested in quite a few years with Call of Duty, but this one I'm actually legitimately interested in. And I hate it because I hate Activision.
I will wait for review.
Devontae, we get to bring back our modern war days.
Yeah.
Yes, no, but listen to me.
Toxicity is high.
I'm
Yes, it
going
is.
to yes.
Jacob
glorious.
can't ruin this one for us.
The 13-year-olds will beat us.
Oh yeah, the Twitch reflex means that we'll never win, but we'll enjoy ourselves.
Yes. And
Especially
they
as
will
I
call us old.
yes, but we'll claymore them to death if they brought back the old fashioned claymore. But anyway, so for me though, I'm going to wait for review.
Modern Warfare 2.
I'm going to bouncing betties and claymores, baby.
You know what the best part about Modern Warfare was?
What?
I'm sorry, you may not
Stacey
be old enough.
actually knows what we're talking
Yeah.
about because she actually played Call of Duty a lot.
You may not be old enough to have gotten that. If you aren't, I'm sorry.
I don't know how to play this game.
Good old noob tube.
There's a
Good
room
old
full of people.
YouTube.
But don't.
Hey man, it's the quickest way to that kill streak, baby.
I would love to talk about this more, but to be honest with our viewers and listeners, we have a set schedule, so we actually need to go on to our next segment. We will actually talk about the Call of Duty game probably next week, give y'all our impressions after we play it, and we'll talk more about the Gaming Pulse next week. Thanks again for letting us get to our geek culture, get to the root of our geek culture with
You'll
you.
get it eventually.
Yes, I will.
Our
Bye, guys.
tagline.
Have a good
Bye.
one.
Peace.